Welcome to today's Market Sit Rep. I'm Matthew Buckley, call sign Wiz, the founder and CEO of Top Gun Options, also the primary model portfolio manager here at TGO, and got some interesting news this morning out of revised GDP. The revised GDP came out in line, but it came out up. So previous GDP was an anemic 1.5%. That's what it was initially reported at, and the forecast was 1.7. Came back in line at 1.7. So very interesting. Now our bipolar market that we talk about here at Top Gun Options faces an even starker choice, as Market Watch points out here. Now the Fed really should be in a quandary on what to do in its early September meeting. Why? Well, we saw another huge green shoot yesterday, right? Housing prices showed a nice little rebound there, and since the first time since 2006, a month-over-month gain. So that is a pretty big deal. Housing starting to recover, GDP showing a little bit of sign. We had a green shoot out of jobs, out of the July jobs numbers weeks ago. So the Fed, in my opinion, is going to be less inclined to act when they meet on September 12th and 13th. They're even more less inclined, if I can say that, because it's an election year, right? And the Fed doesn't want to be seen as being too political. So, as I've talked about with our Top Gun Options traders and in a couple of these sit reps, I really believe we're going to trade sideways the rest of the week and into the Fed announcement. Now, the Fed chairman is speaking this Friday at Jackson Hole, but I think there's way too much put into what that guy's going to say. I could tell you right now, I could write his speech for him right now and tell you exactly what he's going to say. But some other important stuff going on the rest of the week. Pending home sales coming out at 10 a.m. Crude oil inventories. Now this is interesting. You know, some people have been calling for the president to release some of the strategic oil reserve. With Isaac hitting Texas and Louisiana and some of the rigs off the coast there. But folks, our strategic oil reserve, if you can call that, is literally a thimble in a bathtub. It wouldn't, I think would power our nation for about half a day. So that's a joke. So crude oil inventories report should be interesting. The beige book, yawn. We probably all know what's in that already. Tomorrow's going to be a little bit of a bigger day. Unemployment claims, personal spending, personal income, weekly jobless claims. But personal income is going to be an interesting one because it's seen rising. Okay, so that's a big deal. If personal income remains flat, we're going to see this market go down a little bit. Now, we're seeing the futures kind of flat today on the GDP news. So, again, the market's kind of in a holding pattern. Why? Right until the Fed chairman speaks at 10 a.m. out there in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. But everything's looking great in the Top Gun Options model portfolio. We got all our hedges on. Things are working extremely well. Doing great since March 1st. We're up about $62,000 on an average of $50,000 in haircuts, so that's not too shabby. So having a great time trading. So that's today's Market Sit Rep. Going to be looking, at some of the reports today, but the GDP was the big one. The beige book of regional economic conditions. It might be a little interesting, but not too much coming out of that at all. Another interesting meeting going on today that I want to mention is. Angela Merkel is going to meet with the Italian Prime Minister, and they're going to talk euro, and they're going to talk money. So again, our euro saga continues. It's almost like the debt counter clock. I'm going to put on my wall the Grexit clock. When is the Greek exit going to happen, and under what conditions? Is it going to be orderly, disorderly, or is it going to be kind of a train wreck? Okay. So again, if you're not in our live trading or trade alert services, which are skill based, not one size fits all, make sure you go to topgunoptions.com/TA-LTB-services. That's Trade Alert Live Trade Brief Services. Okay, we use a lot of acronyms here, and you can get some skill-based trade alerts and live trading for over 4 hours a week with us here at Top Gun Options. And like I said, performance that speaks for itself. Doing really good in our model portfolio. So happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. Have a great trading day, and I'll be with you for tomorrow's sit rep.